All right, peace, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, give honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Give a double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. Give a double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has spoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to go into a lesson today. We're going to be talking about a response video to the sister Cherry, right? And you know the stupid logic that a lot of these Christians have when it's regarding Easter, and how they try to make Easter biblical. And I understand why they do that is because Easter was associated with the nation of Israel's history to promote pagan customs and traditions. And we're going to prove that, today when we're dealing with this subject, right? So I was listening to a video that she made. I think it was entitled Subjects All Cults Get Wrong, Easter, Jesus, and the Law, right? And I listened to a great deal of it. I think maybe about almost two hours of it. It was a 3-hour video. But I'm going to start going back and I'm going to start listening to these videos and stuff like that, because you have to listen to and critique a lot of the things that they're saying, is because a lot of this stuff that they be talking about, a lot of them don't even understand prophecy. They don't understand church history. And believe it or not, they don't even understand the Bible. A lot of this stuff that we're going to be talking about is supposed to be in the Bible is because it's really prophecy being fulfilled, right? And we're going to go into those scriptures and we're going to build on what was said in her, her presentation, talking about how Easter is biblical. And one of the sources that they were using was a guy by the name of David Reed, right? David Reed, which is a Christian pastor, I believe. He went back to the 1500s and he showed a Bible from I think like the 1530s or the 1520s, and it was a Coverdale Bible. And the Coverdale Bible stated, I have the verse right here, but this is a more modern King James Bible. And in the Coverdale Bible, it states that, it says, this is the 45th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, 21st verse. It says, in the first month, in the 14th day of the month. Now, where did Ezekiel, because Ezekiel is Israel, and he's inspired to follow the customs and traditions of his ancestors from the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter, and the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, which we're going to go over, right? So he's just quoting what is being said to him from what was said to his ancestors thousands of years before he even come on the scene, right? Or hundreds of years before he comes on the scene, right? So it says, in the first month, in the 14th day of the month, ye shall have. Now in the Coverdale Bible, 1500 Bible, it has Easter, right? But let me hit you with something. First of all, most of us that quote unquote supposed to be scholars and things of this nature, we don't even understand that you can't even translate the word Pesach, or what they would call the word Passover, into the word Easter. You can't even translate that. So how can you say that Ezekiel is saying Easter when you can't even translate the word Easter out of the Hebrew? You can't even do that. And if you go into the original, what you would call, not even the original, if you go into the Hebrew today, it would never say nothing like that. It's going to say the word Pesach. So what they're saying is the word Pesach and Easter is the same thing. And I'm going to show you in certain Bibles that is worded like that, right? Or they will make the assertion in certain commentaries dealing with the Bible that Easter is Passover or the Resurrection Day. But I'm going to show you, brothers and sisters, that a lot of that stuff is really that's really Israel's history being promoted to teach false teaching. Because for one, you can't translate the word Pesach or the word Pesach into the word Easter, brothers. You can't do that. So if you can't translate the word Pesach into the word Easter, so how can Easter be the Passover, brothers and sisters? This is how delusional and silly a lot of these folks is. And this is what shows you that a lot of these folks that's teaching the Bible and saying things like this, brothers and sisters, they have no clue about what it is that they're teaching. A lot of us is teaching the Babylonian mystery system and don't even know we teaching it, is because it's styled as these different various of customs and traditions that we follow today. See? So in the Coverdale Bible, it says in the first month, in the 14th day of the month, ye shall have what they would call Easter, brothers and sisters. But mind you, when is Easter celebrated? Easter is celebrated every year on what you would call the first day of the month. It always come around the 9th, or sometimes it may come around on the 10th, right? But look, it got to be on Sunday, or what they would call the first day of the week, right? It gotta be on the first day of the week, which is Sunday, brothers and sisters. See, that's the first day of the week. We gotta keep that in mind. See. Now let's look at something, because right here it says in the first month. Now, comma. What are they saying when they make this statement, right? The first month is the first of the year. So that knocks out the whole concept that January the 1st is the new year, brothers and sisters. So if you're going to go by the Bible, right, which a lot of these Christians don't do, you got to understand that in the first month, they're talking about the first of the year, which is supposed to be Abib, or what they would call the springtime, brothers and sisters. That's the first point that need to be made. When is the new year, right? So if the new year is January the 1st, brothers and sisters, then you're going to count 14 days from January the 1st. But you know that January the 1st, you can't celebrate Easter in January. Is because why? It's because all of this stuff is happening in the springtime, brothers and sisters. So when it says in the first month, we got to understand that this is the first year of the first year of the month, right? So the first year of the month starts in the springtime. Some people say in the month of March, some people saying in April. We're not here to debate that right now, but we're just saying that the first of the year is really in the springtime. That's when everything blossoms and things. It's not January the 1st, right? So it says in the 14th day of the month, the 14th day of the first year of the month, which is in the springtime, brothers and sisters. So you have to count 14 days from the first day of the month. This is when what you would call Passover starts, brothers and sisters. Now let's use this logic. Let's say that Easter is the Passover. Passover is Easter. Because you're going to see that in the 1500 Bible, the Coverdale Bible, 45th chapter, 21st verse of the book of Ezekiel, right? Then you're going to see the word Easter again in quote-unquote Acts 12 and 4, right? So let's say we had a Coverdale Bible, it will be 2 times in the Bible that Easter is mentioned, right? So the first time you're going to see it in the 45th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, 21st verse in the Coverdale Bible, the Coverdale edition, right? Then you're going to see it again in Acts 12 and 4, right? So this is why I'm here in the 21st verse of quote-unquote the 45th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, right? Because right here it says Passover, but they saying that in the Coverdale Bible they took the word Passover out and they put the word Easter in there, right? So let's use logic. If Easter is the Passover, Passover is Easter, brothers and sisters, right? Then what they telling us is that Easter is the 14th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. Family, the Christians is telling us that Easter is the 14th day of the first month. Now I was listening to her video and she made a statement. She said, not her, but Brother Berean, I guess that's her elder or whatever, pastor, right? He said that they're more in harmony with keeping the Passover than quote unquote, I think the Jews or the Israelites or something like that, right? So they are more in harmony with keeping the Passover, right, than quote unquote Israel. Because they going off of what you would call the vernal equinox, right? So let's look at this. Now, mind you, when I show this, this is an old cell phone that I had. It's old, right? So as you can see, I done dropped this thing about 1,000 times. But I'm finna go into this cell phone and I'm finna go into what you call the calendar, right? Because this year, the vernal, what they would call the first month of spring, right? The first month of spring started this year. They said it on the 22nd of March, right? Around the 22nd of March. So the 22nd of March, that would have been, I believe, Wednesday, right? So I'm going to show you how ridiculous that this sounds, brothers and sisters. Now, this is an old cell phone that I had, you know. So, in the month of March, right, as you can see, on the news, they said that the first month of spring started on the 22nd. So, this will be considered, quote unquote, the new year, right? This would be the first month of the year. Because they said that the springtime started on the 22nd. Whether we agree with it or not, that we're not here to talk about that. We're just using the Christian logic. So from 22nd, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So from the 22nd, 14 times is what? That's going to be on the 4th. That's going to be on 4th. So if Passover is Easter, you will be celebrating it Easter on the 4th, which is a Tuesday, brothers and sisters. Let's say you start counting from the 23rd up into the 5th. You're going to be celebrating Easter on the 5th of what? April, brothers and sisters. So let's say if you don't start right here, let's say you count from here all the way up into here, this is going to be 14. That's going to be the 5th of April. If you start counting from the 22nd up into the 4th of April, brothers and sisters, that's going to be the 4th, which is Tuesday. So let's look at this. Let's say that Easter is Passover, right? The scripture right here says that in the 14th day of the month, which is the first of the year. So technically, the 22nd of March would have been the new year, brothers and sisters. I'm just, because the news and the heathens around the world today, they're going by the vernal equinox just as well, especially when they start dealing with their customs and traditions of what they call Easter. So the 22nd would have been the first advent of what you would call the springtime, brothers and sisters. So you got to count from here. So from the 22nd, 14 times, it would have landed on Tuesday, brothers and sisters. It would have been Tuesday. Right? So so this what shows you how ridiculous that this is, that they don't know what they're talking about. And if you count, so this is the 14 days. So you're going to say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, brothers and sisters. That Easter would have been 19 days from the 22nd. The 22nd up into the 9th of April would give you 19 days, brothers and sisters. All you have to do is count. These people are not even counting. They're not counting. That's not 14 days. The 22nd to the 4th of April is 14 days. So if you're going to keep Easter, you should have been keeping Easter or the Passover on the 4th of what? On the 4th of April. That's 14 days. But Easter comes in on the 9th, brothers and sisters. So from the 22nd up into the 9th of April, the 22nd of March up into the 9th of April would give you 19 days, brothers and sisters. That's not the 14th day. That's not scripture. That's not the 14th day of the first month. So this shows you that they don't even know how to count, brothers and sisters. They're not even counting. And then another thing too, let's take it off because we done proved that's wrong, right? Because they don't even keep Easter during the weekday. They keep Easter on Sunday, brothers and sisters. So, mind you, after the Passover is what? A feast of 7 days unleavened bread shall be eaten. Do you see Christians eating unleavened bread, brothers and sisters? Do you actually see them? Because according to the Bible, that you're supposed to take a lamb, right? You're supposed to prepare. Let's look at scripture. This is ridiculous. That's why I say that you can't listen to these people, man, because a lot of these folks are deceived, man. And they're following Easter, which is a pagan holiday. This is just a fact, brothers. This is facts, right? This lady, Sister Cherry, doesn't know what she's talking about, and she has no business teaching nobody nothing. It's because she's not apt to teach. And I'm not here to debate if women should be teaching or not and all that nonsense. I'm saying if a woman was teaching and she's teaching the right thing, what's the problem? This woman is out here teaching something that is contrary. You can't get 14 days from the 22nd of March up into April the 4th. What's that, April the 9th? That's 19 days. And if you're going to go 14 days from the 22nd, you're going to be on April the 4th, brothers and sisters. So in actuality, you should have been keeping Easter on a Tuesday, brothers and sisters. This is how ridiculous that this sounds. So you know what it is? This is what's going on. I liken those people to we gotta look at athletes, right? The athlete, whether he does things good or sometimes he may do things bad. Whether he do things good or bad in the sight of the media, they gonna always have something to say. Right? So you have media people and you have the hecklers that's in the audience. When you come to another person's state and you want to play against them, you always have hecklers that come there and they try to heckle the people, the players from the audience. Or you have the media. The media, a lot of them, they wish that they were the athletes that they're covering in the news. They wish that they was the athletes that they're covering in the news. You got Stephen A. Smith, you got whether it's men or women, they always got something negative to say about the athlete. Whether he do good things or bad things, they criticize. And the reason why they criticize like that and they take it personal is because they really wish that they were them. See, Stephen A. Smith, he wished that he was LeBron James, KD, Steph Curry, John Morant. I'm talking about the elites of the athletes. They wish that they were them. Right? And one of the ways that they have a big following is because a lot of times they slander the athlete in the media. And that's the same thing with the Christian church. The Christian church wish that they were Israel. See, they wish that they was Israel. And this is why you see a lot of these folks, they get on these podcasts, or they do these lessons, and they try to critique what we talking about, but they make themselves look real stupid, brothers and sisters. I'm going to show you where Passover comes from, and they know this, and they still do they do the exact opposite. You know, the athlete, he gets the ball or the football 4 seconds on the clock, he gonna make the major play. See, these folks can't do this because why? They not the elites, man. These Christians, they don't even know nothing about their own history. They don't even know nothing about why church history was formed in the first place. So let's get it. It says, 12th chapter of the book of Exodus, first verse. And Yah spake unto Moshe and Aharon in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. What are they talking about? They talking about that's considered the new year, brothers and sisters. The Christians, the whole world, they don't even observe this as the new year. So they off right there. They don't even celebrate the new year as what you would call the springtime, brothers and sisters. So how the Christians is supposed to be the word or the mouthpiece of the Creator, and here it is, they don't even observe, they don't even know when the first of the year is. Half of these Christians, what they doing? They out there celebrating January the 1st as the new year. So that's strike one. So it says, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Right? And see, when it was given to the first of the year, who was it given? It was given to the nation of Israel. But we can see remnants of the new year spoken of in the book of Genesis, dealing with who? Noah. See? So the new year has always been during the springtime, brothers and sisters. But this is an event that's taking place in history that the Creator is going to do what? To break down the Egyptians or Mizraim's power structure, right? So you know the Creator is doing what? He's giving the nation of Israel his new year, because it's not Israel's year, it's his year, right? It should be the first month of the year to you, right? So if the Christians are the mouthpiece to the Creator, brothers and sisters, then why are they not observing this? Why are they still in January? The reason why they still in January is because why? They're worshiping the gods of the Babylonians. That's why they worship in January the 1st. See, all this nonsense. It says, speak unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb. Do you see that the Christians doing this? If they're keeping Passover, brothers and sisters. If they're keeping Passover, brothers and sisters, do you see them taking a lamb of the first year of the month, and you're going to hold the lamb 10 days, brothers and sisters? I mean, on the 10th day. You ain't going to hold it for 10 days. You're going, on the 10th day, you're going to get a lamb, right, without blemish. You don't see them doing this. You know what the Christians are doing? They're celebrating a bastard form of what you would call Lent and Ash Wednesday. This is what they doing. 40 years of Lent. That has nothing to do with the nation of Israel's history. This is not the book of Exodus. Right? Easter has nothing to do with this. But let's say that Easter is the Passover. Let's say that Easter is a translation of the Passover. When do you see Christians going to get a lamb, since they the word, the mouthpiece of the Creator? They're going to go get a lamb on the 10th day, right? It says it. In the 10th day of this month shall they take them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his house, it says, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish. You don't see no Christians do it. They eating ham, y'all. They eating ham hocks. See? Chitlins. That's what they eat. We can eat anything now. A male of the first year. You see no Christians doing this. David Reed said the early believers back in the day, they kept Passover, right? They kept it. But if they're keeping Passover, then David Reed, why you not keeping it? Why you not keeping it? David Reed, Sister Cherry, G-Man, Vocab Malone, why y'all not keeping Passover? See, if the Creator is dealing with y'all, you say Passover is Easter, Easter is Passover. Why you not killing the lamb, right? Why you not preparing the lamb on the 10th day? They do everything contrary. That's what I'm saying. You can't listen to these folks. They're nothing but the children of the adversary. And then got the nerve to call somebody a cult. Christianity is one of the biggest cults out here. A male of the first year, ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation the congregation of Israel shall kill it in evening. I used to celebrate Easter as a kid. We never did nothing like this. You never did nothing, even at the church. Because the church, they still do this even to this day. They still mess with 40 days of Lent. You don't see them doing this, brothers and sisters. But mind you, just like I just told you, that if Easter is the Passover, and they said that the first day of spring started on the 22nd of March, then what is that? Technically, that's the new year. But the world today doesn't even acknowledge the new year in the springtime. They're acknowledging the new year as January the 1st. When you deal with Easter traditions, they're not dealing with none of this. They're not killing no lamb. They're not getting the lamb on the 10th day of the month. They're not holding it until the 14th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. They're not doing this. The 22nd, 14 days from the 22nd count 14, that's April the 4th, brothers and sisters. That's not even Sunday. That's not even Sunday, brothers and sisters. Then when you count all the way to the 9th, which is Easter, that's 19 days. Brothers and sisters. They can't even count. They can't count. This is basic counting. And I'm not even here to say that we could keep the Passover, none of that. I'm just saying, if you're saying that Passover is Easter, then you're off. You're not even doing what the Creator is telling you to do. You know why you're not doing it? It's because you're following after a false god. That's why you're not doing it. So And then they go to a 15th century Bible. Do you understand, brothers? And see, this is what we got to understand. Even though the King James Bible was translated into the English, we're still reading the Latin Vulgate, brothers and sisters. This is what we're still reading. It's because the Catholic Church transliterated our history out of the Greek. Who is the Roman Catholic Church? That's the fourth beast, brothers and sisters. Let's get it. That's what I'm saying. These folks, they don't understand what they talking about. And but see, all of that I'm talking about is supposed to be like this. Because a lot of us is going to be destroyed, brothers and sisters. They're going to be destroyed. And that's why it behooves us today that we have to seek the Creator, and hopefully that the Creator does what? Reveal Himself to us, man. Because I'm talking about the so-called Negro, which is the Israelite. We don't even care if these folks don't even believe it no more. Because it's not up to us to convince these folks anyway. It's up to the Creator to open up your understanding. And it doesn't matter if Israel is resurrected, right, spiritually, that everybody in Israel is going to be righteous, brothers and sisters. See, this is another thing that they do. Soon as you see an Israelite doing something that's contrary to the Creator, then they try to lump all Israelites into the same category. Well, let's do this then. The Christians back in the day had our people as slaves, brothers and sisters. So in the Caucasians, they created what you call white supremacy. These were early Christians, brothers and sisters. So do that means that just because you had Christians back then that was doing it back then, does that mean that every Caucasian Christian that's on the planet, that they believe that black people are inferior to them? This is how stupid that this stuff is. You got Chinese people that's in the neighborhood. A lot of them are racist towards your people. But does that mean that every Chinese person that's on the face of this planet that they're racist, brother? We'll be stupid to think that. This would let me know that a lot of these people that try to criticize us, they're not even genuine, brothers and sisters. But let's look at the scripture. Daniel, the 7th chapter and the 7th verse. And this I saw in a nice vision. Behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had what? 10 horns. Why was it more diverse? It's because the third beast, which is Greece, the second, Medo-Persia, the first one, which is the Chaldean Empire, they was not able to change with the times and the seasons. Rome is able to do that is because Rome, when it falls, it's going to be what? Restructured again, and what you would call later on, what we would call the European Common Market System, that's headed up by who? America, brothers and sisters. See? So America and the European Common Market System, Canada, the State of Israel, South Africa, right? Germany, France, Spain, Luxembourg, Belgium, see, all of these nations that's controlling everything, they are the revitalization of the Roman Empire, brothers and sisters. Because America, the founding fathers, where they come from? They come from England, brothers and sisters. And England is a toe. It's a part of the 10 toes of today, brothers and sisters. So what is the Catholic Church going to do? They're going to create a religious, political, right, and a social system that is going to be contrary to the Creator. It's going to look like the Most High, but in actuality, it's the adversary. See? It's the adversary, brothers and sisters. And what document that they're going to use to do what? To promote this. They're going to use Israel's history to promote it, brothers and sisters. Because they're going to tell you this. Let's look at the 8th verse. It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. What is that? Who is that? That's Rome, brothers and sisters. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of men, and mouth speaking great things, brothers. What is the great things that they're going to speak? They're going to change the narrative of the Israelite, brothers. They're going to shape and mold it. They're going to have you worshiping their customs and traditions using Israel's history. See? And who is the eyes of a man? Who is that? That's the Pope, brothers and sisters, because the Pope is the Vicar. He's the ruler over all of this stuff. Your Christian pastors, your Islamic imams, your Jewish rabbis, they all go to this man and bow down and kiss his ring, y'all. Whether they standing or they bowing down. They kiss this man ring because they recognize him as what? The mother church. And the Christians are nothing but another form of Roman Catholicism, brothers and sisters. 25th verse. He shall speak great words against the most. Who is the he? The Roman Empire, aka the Roman Catholic Church. It's because later on they're going to do what? They're going to empower these other nations to chasten the nation of Israel. See? The transatlantic slave trade was something that was instituted by who? The Catholic Church, y'all. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. That's the so-called Negro. I'm going to put you in slavery. Because why? The Creator motivated them to do it. Because we rebelled against the Creator. So now we're living in the times of the Gentiles. You got Gentiles today professing themselves to be Israel. Whether physically or what? Spiritually. It says, and think to change times and laws. They're going to put Easter in the Bible. They're going to put Christmas in the Bible. They're going to put the Immaculate Conception. They're going to put the cross in the Bible. See? Jesus is God. That's not Abraham's God. See? And who's going to be the major person that's going to be subjugated to these customs? It's our people. Because we the saints that's going to be what? We're going to be persecuted by these folks. I'm going to wear you out. I'm going to set up what? Jim Crow laws in the country. See? You You're not gonna be Israel no more. I'm gonna turn you into what? The nigger, the African American. I'm gonna bring destruction in your neighborhood. And think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the dividing of times, brothers and sisters. What is that? The times of the Gentiles, brothers and sisters. The Gentiles, and not just the Gentiles, the world is under the influence of the adversary. This woman don't know what she's talking about. First of all, she can't even count. The Creator said there are 14 days. On the 14th day of the first month, you got to keep what? Passover. They not doing that. They keeping it what? 19 days after the fact. They not sacrificing no lamb on the 10th. I mean, they not getting the lamb on the 10th day and holding it for 4 days until the 14th day. They not doing that. They having an Easter egg hunt. So if we see this, brothers and sisters, then why are we following them? They're not following the Creator. One second, let me get some of this water. They're not following the Creator, brothers and sisters. Now let's go to the 12th chapter of the book of Acts. 12th chapter of the book of Acts, verses, you see that Easter, literally Passover. But like I just said, brothers and sisters, if Easter is Passover, then why are they dealing with Good Friday? Huh? Why they dealing with Good Friday? They gonna put it in the Bible, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm saying. When King James and them translate the history, and no, King James was not an Israelite. I don't care if he was blue, black. He's not Israel. And if he is Israel, he's following the customs and traditions of the beast. You can't even translate the word Easter from Passover. This is how stupid that we have become from dealing with false religion. Because religion is nothing but a set of principles that you live by. If you're an Israelite, you got to deal with the customs and traditions of Israel. If you're a Christian, you got to deal with the customs and traditions of being a Christian. You got to believe in their ideology. If you're a Muslim, the same thing. If you're a Jew, the same thing. See? So Easter, you can't translate Easter, the word Pesach or Pesach, into Easter, brothers and sisters. You can't translate the word Yeshua into Jesus, brothers and sisters. Words don't change, they remain the same. Do you know you can write Yeshua in English today? But this is how stupid that this sounds. Well, let's get to it. The 3rd verse and the 4th verse, right? And because he saw it please the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And that's very significant, brothers and sisters, because I'm going to show you how they changed it. And they're going to use the word, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and the word Passover in order to do this, brothers and sisters. Because, like I say, Passover is Easter, Easter is Passover. But now you got to ask yourself, brothers and sisters, when is Good Friday in the Bible? I'm going to show you this. See, these Christians, they talk about how we not study. We don't study. But they don't even know what they talking about. And I'm going to show you that that stuff is wrong. And we shouldn't even be following it. It says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to for a quaternion of soldiers to keep him intended what they say after Easter. But mind you, brothers and sisters, when is Easter celebrated? Easter is always celebrated on the first day of the week, right around the 9th day of April, brothers and sisters. Or sometimes it may fall on the 10th, but it's going to fall on the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. So we got to look at, this is just common sense, brothers and sisters. Family, this is common sense. If Easter is Passover, brothers and sisters, you got to count from what they would call the vernal equinox, the first day of spring. The first day of spring this year started on the 22nd of March, brothers and sisters. That's when it started. So if you count from the 22nd of March 14 times, Easter is going to land on the 4th of April, brothers and sisters. If you count from the 22nd to when Easter was today, the 9th day of the month of April, it's going to be what? 19 days, brothers and sisters. That's not the 14th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. So they're off. And Easter is always celebrated on the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. But let's look at a commentary real quick before we start, because now we're going to see where's the first time that this is mentioned. The third and the fourth verse, how it's styled that way. The Feast of Unleavened Bread before Easter. Why do they have it like this? Why do they have it like this, brothers and sisters? We're going to show and prove. This is the first commentary that we're going to read. Bible Dictionary and Concordance, right? Over 6,000 biblical names and terms. So let's look up the word Easter. Let's look up the word Easter real quick. Then we're going to look at another dictionary. We're going to go back to the story. Let's look at the word Easter. Easter was originally the festival of Estre, right? An Anglo-Saxon goddess. So let's because I can go in scripture on this too. Who are the Anglo-Saxons, brothers? And that will be what they would call the English today, brothers and sisters, because the Anglo-Saxons, I believe they came out of what you would call the Caucasus Mountains, and they started to fight against the original inhabitants of those lands that they took over today, which is called England, because a lot of the original people that was living over there were so-called black people of different nations. So where did the Anglo-Saxons get this from? We got to understand, family, that the Anglo-Saxons, right, they're nothing but so-called white people that came out of the Caucasus Mountains, and the so-called white man is nothing but a black man turned white, brothers and sisters, through what they would call leprosy and different climate changes, you know what I'm saying, that happened throughout the centuries and stuff like that. So a lot of times we will adopt customs and traditions that have been practiced thousands of years ago, brothers and sisters. The Anglo-Saxon goddess is nothing but another form of what you would call the Queen of Heaven worship, brothers and sisters, in the 44th chapter of the book of Jeremiah. That's all this is. So when the Anglo-Saxon got a hold to it, when they was practicing it, they just call these things by different names. Just like when you celebrate what you would call Mother's Day. Mother's Day goes back to what? The worship system of who? Semiramis, brothers and sisters. So, and who is the people that was in the Caucasus Mountains? is nothing but various of nations of so-called black people that was turning white, brothers and sisters. This is where a lot of them was going, right? So out of all of those people was birthed different nations, brothers and sisters. And in Acts 12 and 4, in the minute it says, is a mistranslation of Passover, the Jewish feast. But that's incorrect, brothers and sisters, because they're gonna tell you. Let's continue. See, feast and Passover. Easter is now observed by many Christians in commemoration of our Savior's resurrection. But this is the impact verse. It says, which occurred just after Passover. So they're telling you that the Christians are celebrating another Passover, brothers and sisters. They're not even celebrating the Passovers that was established by who? By the Creator in the book of Exodus. They're celebrating Passover on the first day of the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. That's not 14 days. The Israelites is celebrating Passover, right? The 14th day of the first month. And the Christians is celebrating Passover on what? The first day. They celebrating it 19 days after what you would call the vernal equinox, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm telling you. They telling you. It says, let's read that again. Easter is now observed by many Christians in commemoration of our Savior's resurrection, which occurred just after Passover. So what are they telling you? They're telling you that they celebrate Passover on a different day, but you can't do that. You got the Christians celebrating Passover on Easter. Then you got the Israelites celebrating Passover on the 14th day of the first month. What is that? That's confusion. The Passover is supposed to be celebrated on the same day, brothers. But see, even in Israel today, we do this today. You got Israelites that celebrate Passover in March. You got Israelites that celebrate Passover in April, right? On different days. You can't do that, brothers and sisters. Passover was an event that happened. And if you're going to celebrate Passover, you have to celebrate it on the same day, brothers and sisters. And I just showed you that the heathens say that the first day of spring starts on the 22nd of March this year, right? So if you count from the 22nd of March, 14 days, brothers and sisters, it's going to land on the 4th of what? April. If you count up until the 9th of April, it's going to be what? 19 days, brothers and sisters. So they're not keeping the Passover. What? And they telling you where they got this from. Easter is not Passover, brothers. So David Reed, going to the 45th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, 21st verse, they put that in there, bro, because our history is being controlled by the Gentiles, brothers and sisters, because the nation of Israel is in slavery under the Gentiles. So what's going on? These different religions, what they're doing is they're mixing and mingling the story of Israel with their customs and traditions. And these folks, they can't even see it. You know why they can't see it? It's because 13th chapter of the book of Matthew, it says what? The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven is given unto you, but unto them it is not given. The Creator's not dealing with these people. They don't even know how to count, brothers and sisters. Brother Bahrain said they more in perfect harmony with keeping it. How are you in more harmony of keeping the Passover when you're doing it 19 days, right? After what you would call the first month. This is how ridiculous that this is, brothers and sisters. And you have to stop following these people. Easter comes from the winter, not the winter solstice, the worship system of who? Astarte, Semiramis, Inanna, Aristogal. See? Many various of names that she went by, because different nations, they're going to be worshiping her in their own tongue, brothers and sisters. The Russians, they're going to call it by something else. The Germans going to call it by something else. The French, see, but it's all of the same pantheon, brothers. Let's look at another scripture. Then we're going to look at this. Not scripture. Let's look at another source. This is another source, brothers and sisters. Man, that's what I'm saying. What? I don't even care what these folks talking about no more. Because all you need is history. You just got to study history. And you're going to smash these folks. They don't know what they talking about, man. They ain't nothing but hecklers in the audience, man. They not in the ball game. They not the elite. Let's look at this. Easter. This is coming out of the Young's Bible Dictionary. G. Douglas Young, Ph.D. Easter, a pagan Teutonic goddess since the Council of Nicaea AD 25. Why is the Council of Nicaea significant, brothers and sisters? Is because it's them, the church, the Catholic Church, they're going to do what? I think it's the 1st or the 2nd Corinthians. I think it's 2nd Corinthians, the 11th chapter, starting at verses 13. How they going to do what? They're going to transform themselves into who? The apostles of Yahshua HaMashiach. See, they have already done this because they have taken Yahshua himself and they have transformed him into who? A false god, ladies and gentlemen. You can't believe what these people talking about. They don't know what they talking about. It says a pagan Teutonic goddess since the Council of Nicaea AD 325. The church celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ on this day, which is what? The first day of the week. There was no celebration of the resurrection in the New Testament. Later, the Gentile Christians observed the day on Sunday. Why is that? It's because Daniel, the 7th chapter, verses 8 and 25 is so. See, it's because they're gonna change times and laws, brothers and sisters. You're not dealing with no Passover no more. You're not dealing with the Feast of Unleavened. You're dealing with what? You're dealing with Easter. See? Good Friday. Christmas. January the 1st is the new year. It says, while the Jewish believers connected it with what? Passover, and celebrated it on the 14th day of Nisan. The Christians is not doing this. Christians ain't doing this. So now you got the Israelites celebrating Passover on the 14th day of the first month, and the Christians is celebrating on what? The first day of the week, which is they celebrating Easter on the 19th day of the first month, brother. You can't do that, brothers and sisters. That's what shows you that they off. They're celebrating the Passover 19 days of the first month, which is the new year. That shows you that they off. Because from the 22nd of March, which is supposed to be the first day of the springtime, that's supposed to be the first of the year, up until the 9th of April is 19 days, brothers and sisters. They off. They're not doing what they supposed to be doing. If you're going to do it, Easter have been observed on first Sunday following the full moon after the vernal equinox, varying between March 22nd, didn't I just say that? April 25th, brothers and sisters. They wrong. See? They wrong. So why are we sitting around here listening to these folks? They don't know what they talking about. They gonna celebrate Passover 19 days of the first month. No. Now, what we finna do, brothers and sisters, now is that we finna show why this is worded this way, right? So the first time that you're gonna see this, because according to them, Easter is Passover, right? So you gotta go to what? 26th chapter of the book of Matthew. The 26th chapter of the book of Matthew, 17th verse. It says, now the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Now hold it right there, brothers and sisters. When does the Feast of Unleavened Bread start? The Feast of Unleavened Bread starts, brothers and sisters, on the 15th day of the first month, brothers. That's the book of Leviticus, the fifth verse, 23rd chapter. We're going to get that. The disciples came to Yeshua, who we call Jesus, saying unto him, where wert thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Passover is the 14th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. Now we know in Egypt that the nation of Israel, when they killed the Passover, they ate the Passover, they ate unleavened bread, and they ate bitter herbs, right? But mind you, what day did they come out? What day did the Creator bring them out of Egypt? He brought them out on the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It was the next day. That was the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But the nation of Israel as a nation, they established the feast days in the wilderness in the 23rd chapter of the book of Matthew, brothers and sisters. So Passover is on the 14th day. Feast of Unleavened Bread is on the 15th day, brothers and sisters. But in this scripture, now the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, where wert thou that we prepare to eat the Passover? What are you talking about? The Feast of Unleavened Bread is the 15th day, brothers and sisters. They're already celebrating the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Talking about the Passover. But why is it worded like this? See, the 12th chapter of the book of Acts is not the first time that they're talking about Easter. Now, when you go back to the Coverdale 45 and 21, Ezekiel, in the 1500s, that's the first time that's in the English Bible, that's the first time that it's mentioned in the English Bible, right? But this will be the second time that it's mentioned, if you're going to go by that logic. If you're going to go from Coverdale 45 and 21, Ezekiel, this will be the second time that this is mentioned. And see, why are they saying this like this? It's because why? This is figurative language couched in historical symbolism. And what is the figurative language? The figurative language is that, just like I read from the book of Daniel 7 and 25, they're going to change times and laws, brothers and sisters. This is the changing right here. It's because if Easter is the first day of the week, brothers, and we're going to show this in the Bible, They put it in here. But now, what we have to do, the nation of Israel, we have to do what? We have to put this in its proper perspective, and we have to recover our history. Why are they saying this? It's because this is supposed to be Easter. This is when he's going to rise from the grave on the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. What they would call the resurrection day. So this is going to be in the 28th chapter of the book of Matthew, brothers and sisters. And they're going to show you this. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, the reason why they saying that the Feast of Unleavened Bread before the Passover is because this is Good Friday, brothers and sisters. That's why they have it worded like this. They don't do things. There's no such thing as a mistranslation, brothers and sisters. They don't accidentally do stuff. In the King James 16:11, in the commentaries, it says to find Easter forever. In the commentaries in the 16:11, they have it that they would celebrate Lent, they were celebrating Ash Wednesday, they were celebrating quote unquote Easter, Good Friday, all that type of stuff. They not just putting that in the Bible, you know, they not just doing it haphazardly. They not doing, they gonna put it in the Bible. They gonna put it in the story. So the 45th chapter of the book of Ezekiel is a quote that was put in there by the Catholic Church, brothers and sisters. It's because the Catholic Church is worshiping the Babylonian mystery system. How do we know that? It's because a lot of times the Pope, they have the mother and child on their wall. That's Semiramis and Tammuz. They worship that, brother. So the Messiah that we're looking to today is a false Messiah that was created by the Catholic Church, brothers and sisters. So when we're reading our history, which is the Israelite history, it's being told through the lens of who? The fourth beast. So the King James Bible, the King James translation is nothing but the Latin Vulgate translated in English, brothers and sisters. That's all it is. But the Creator has to do what? Open your understanding so you can be able to navigate through this history, because everything that's in here is not true. And it's put there on purpose as a stumbling block to the people that's reading it, brothers and sisters, from a religious standpoint of view. So like I say, if this is Easter, brothers and sisters, when is Easter celebrated? Easter is always celebrated on, quote unquote, the first day of the week, which is Sunday, brothers and sisters. So from the time that, quote unquote, the springtime comes in, that's considered the first of the year. You got to count 14 days. It's not going to fall on no Easter, brothers and sisters. So the Christians are celebrating what they would call Passover 19 days on from the 22nd of March up until the 9th of April is 19 days. They just showed you in the dictionary that the Christians celebrate Passover way after the Passover has already been celebrated. So why is the Christians celebrating Easter as what? As the Passover? Is because why? They're worshiping Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. That's why they doing that. They worshiping the Babylonian mystery system. So The reason why they have this like this, the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, is because they transformed this into Good Friday, brothers and sisters. Because if you're going to try to keep the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread will always fall on what? It's going to fall on when? It's going to be on Friday, brothers and sisters, because if you're going to go by the days of the week, the Sabbath will always come in on what they would call Saturday, which is the seventh day of the week, brothers and sisters. Now, we know that, brothers and sisters, now they're going to say that the Sabbath can fall on any other day. No, it's not, brothers and sisters. No, it's not. You can't get the Sabbath by according to the moon, brothers and sisters. See? I mean, we deal with the months and things of this nature according to the moon and stuff like that. But the Creator said 7 days shall thou, 6 days shall thou do thy labor and do thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath, brothers and sisters. You can't get the Sabbath by trying to go by the moon and stuff like, no, brothers and sisters. That's just a simple count. That's it. So, the reason why they have it worded like this, brothers and sisters, again, is because they transformed this day, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, into quote-unquote Good Friday. Let's look at the book of Leviticus real quick, and I'm finna show you Easter in the Bible, brothers and sisters. I got to finish because I got some things I got to take care of. Let's look at this. Let's turn to the 23rd chapter of the book of Leviticus. All right, 23rd chapter of the book of Leviticus, the 5th verse. It says, in the 14th day of the first month. The Christians don't do that, brothers and sisters. They celebrating Passover 19 days. The 19th day of the first month. They can't count. So that has already been established. So the Pesach is the 14th day of the first month. That's the springtime. That's not January the 1st, brothers and sisters. If they gonna go by their New Year, then they should have been celebrating their Passover on the 14th day of after January the 1st. See? But they doing everything in the springtime. Because this is the first of the year, brothers and sisters. And the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yah's Passover. Passover. Then what? And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's on the 15th day. So why do they keep having this before this? It's because why? It's because they're going to have this styled as what? Good Friday. They're going to bypass because it says in the first day ye shall have a holy. That's the Sabbath. That's the 7th day, brothers and sisters. So what they doing is they're going to turn this into Good Friday. They're going to turn it. They're going to bypass the Sabbath, and this is going to turn into what? The first day of the week, brothers and sisters. This is what the Catholic Church. This is what Jerome and them did. Eusebius, Constantine, all of them was associated with this. This is why history or the New Testament has been tampered with, brothers and sisters, because they're not worshiping the Creator. That's why when you go over here, when you see this worded like this, now the first day of Feast of Unleavened Bread, the 26th chapter of the book of Matthew is endorsing what you would call Good Friday, brothers and sisters. Because this is after they so-called have the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, this is when the Messiah is apprehended. But that's not according to Daniel, the 9th chapter and the 27th verse, because Daniel, the 9th chapter and 27th verse says what? in the midst of the week, brothers and sisters. The midst of the week is before Passover. That's what they would call Wednesday, brothers and sisters. But when they're talking right here, let's look at this. 26th chapter, 2nd verse. 26th chapter, 2nd verse. Ye know after 2 days is the feast of Passover. And the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified, right? Well, what is he saying? What is the writer conveying to the reader? He's telling you that what? That he's going to be apprehended on Good Friday, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and then he's going to be crucified on the 7th day. And then what's going to happen? 28th chapter, Book of Matthew. In the end of the Sabbath, what day is that? That would be the 27th chapter of the Book of Matthew, ladies and gentlemen. As it began to dawn towards the first day of the week, what is that, brothers and sisters? The first day of the week is what? Easter, brothers and sisters. That's Easter. So you can't tell me that they didn't change the Bible. Because Easter is not Passover, brothers and sisters. They just showed you that in the dictionary, that the Christians were celebrating Easter way after the Passover was celebrated. So, brothers and sisters, this is wrong. This scripture should not be in here, brothers and sisters. Then another thing, too, that's not even 3 days and 3 nights, brothers and sisters. We got to get 3 days. They can't count, brothers and sisters. They got to go back to Sesame Street. They got to go back to Sesame Street. They can't count. You got people. This is how deceived and misguided that we are as a people. You got people that been to college. They got master's degrees. Brilliant. They make money. They go into this Bible. They can't even count straight. And what's ridiculous about this is that this female, she's arrogant. She can't even count. And she don't even want, whoever sees this video, they going to do what? They're going to try to go against it. Oh, he don't know what he's talking. But everything that I said in here is true. When they say, as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week, but what are they talking about? Easter, brothers and sisters. So the 26th chapter of the Book of Matthew was symbolic of them talking about how the Messiah was going to rise on what you would call Easter Sunday, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm saying. This is the deception. You can't get 3 days and 3 nights from Good Friday to Easter Sunday. Let's look at another scripture. It's all in here. That's what I'm saying. You can't. That's why the Christians lay claim to the Bible. Is because why? The Catholic Church structured the history of Israel, and they did what? They put in certain triggers or nuances to make you worship their customs. And look, some Israelites are deceived by this too. Because they thinking that Yahshua is keeping Passover. He wouldn't have never kept Passover, brothers and sisters. It's because how? He got to be cut off in the midst of the week, brothers and sisters. You can't even start counting until he's in the grave. If you're going to go by that logic. Even though we have to question that logic. See? Because now we're looking at Yahshua as a God. See? They don't even understand Yahshua. They don't understand Paul. They don't understand Peter. They don't understand nothing. You got some Israelites don't even understand Paul. They don't understand Yahshua. They don't understand nothing. 16th chapter of the book of Mark, first verse. And when the Sabbath was past, what are they talking about? They talking about the 15th chapter of the book of Mark, brothers and sisters. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, Salome had brought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. Very early in the morning, the first day of the week. When does the first day of the week start, brothers and sisters? That's Sunday, brother. So that shows you they put this in the Bible. If you're going to go by that logic, and then you're going to say that the vernal equinox starts around the 22nd of the month of March, brothers and sisters, right? Then what is that? 22nd up into the 9th of quote-unquote April is 19 days. That's not even 14 days, brothers and sisters. Easter is always celebrated during the weekday. Passover is always celebrated during the weekday. It's not celebrated on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Or the first day of the week. It's not even a week. Easter is the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. That's the first day of the week. That's not Passover, brother. That's why that shows you that they done mess with this history. Is because why? They done transformed themselves into Israel, brothers and sisters. What is Sister Cherry talking about? Before you even can say anything about anybody, you gotta learn how to count first. They can't even count, brothers and sisters. Now we gotta get 3 days and 3 nights. Let's look at this, right? Because right here they try to change it up, right? It says after 2 days was the feast of Passover and unleavened bread, right? The chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft and put him to death. But check this out. Let's look at this. 12th verse, 14th chapter, book of Mark. And the first day of unleavened bread, comma. Why are they saying that? It's because symbolically the unleavened bread has been changed, brothers and sisters, into who? Good Friday. It's because the 14th chapter of the book of Mark is when the Messiah is going to be apprehended by Judas and the Romans. When they killed the Passover, brothers and sisters. So, if they would have killed the Passover, brothers and sisters, right? They would have already killed it on the 14th day of the first month. You can't kill the Passover on the 15th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. So what are they telling you? Them keeping what they would call the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover on the 15th day, brothers and sisters, is symbolic. What are they telling you? What they telling you is that the Messiah is going to rise. They're eating of the what? The resurrection on the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. When they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, where would thou that we go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover? What are they telling you? When they're eating the feast of Passover is what? It's symbolic of what? the resurrection day, brothers and sisters. That's why when you go to the 16th chapter of the book of Mark, that's why they say, and very early in the morning, the first day of the week, what is that? That's the resurrection day, brothers and sisters. See? When they tell you this, commentary. When the Sabbath was passed, that will be the 15th chapter of the book of Mark. For the order of events on the day of Christ's resurrection. First day of the week. But where they get this from, they try to go to the book of Leviticus. But you know, we don't study. This lady is a bozo, man. She don't know what she's talking about. 5th verse. That's the 14th day, the 23rd chapter, 5th verse of the book of Leviticus. This is the 14th day. What day of the week would that be on? That would be the 5th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. This is the 6th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. And it says, in the first day, not the first day of the week, ye shall have a holy that's the Sabbath. This is the 7th day. This will be the 5th day. This will be the 6th day. This will be the 7th day, brothers and sisters, because all of these are considered what? Rest days, brothers and sisters. You've been deceived. You've been deceived, y'all. So they deceiving your butt. Because they use the Israelite narrative to promote pagan doctrine. And very early in the first day of the week, what is that? That's Sunday, brothers and sisters. That's Sunday. Come on, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Matter of fact, let's do something real quick. Let's turn to, matter of fact, let's finish it out. Let's look at the book of Luke real quick. It's all in here. One second. Should be the 22nd chapter of the book of Luke. Here's another scripture. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. No, it's not, brothers and sisters. The Passover is on the 14th day. The reason why they have it styled like this is because they transformed this into Good Friday. And when they talking about the Passover, they saying that what? That the Messiah is going to rise on the first day of the week. That's why they saying. So technically, this is Easter. When does Easter start? The first day of the week, brothers and sisters. So when you go to the 24th, 24th chapter of the book of Luke, it says, now upon the first day of the week. That's Sunday. That's Easter. Very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing spices they had prepared, which they had prepared, and certain others with him. That's Easter, brothers and sisters. I'm showing you this. This what shows you that they have tampered with the word of God. You can't celebrate Passover on Easter, brothers and sisters. If you're doing that, then you are committing treason against the Creator. Let's show you. Let's look at the 18th chapter of the book of John. We're gonna go right in there. But see, it don't show it in the book of John. But see, see the book of John. See, this is Good Friday, y'all. why do I keep harping on that? It's because the Messiah said it's going to be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. But see, they're not even counting it like that. They starting from when he's apprehended, that's 1 day. He get on the cross, that's 2 days. Then the 3rd day he's going to resurrect, that's 3 days. But that's false, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm saying. You gotta know how. You gotta know how to properly count. See. Let's look at the 19th chapter of the book of John, 31. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath, for that Sabbath was a high day, right? Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken. So, what is being said right here when they talk about the Sabbath? They're going to be looking at Easter as the Sabbath. See, they're going to be looking at that as the Sabbath, but in actuality, the 19th chapter of the book of John is really the Sabbath. Because look, what comes after the first day? The Sabbath, y'all. First day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene, early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, seeing the stone taken away, right? What is the first day of the week? That's Sunday, brothers and sisters. That's Sunday. That's Easter. So I'm trying to tell you. Let's look at something. Now, I was at liberty to write down something because we're going to go off of something. Let's turn to the 12th chapter and the 40th verse of the book of Matthew, right? 12 and 40, Matthews. For Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights of the heart of the earth, right? So, in order for you to start, let's say hypothetically that Yeshua, Jesus, is God, right? And you start counting. You have to count from the midst of the week, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you that the midst of the week is not Passover. It will have to be before the Passover, brothers and sisters, right? It got to be before the Passover. So, that's the 9th chapter of the book of Daniel, see? So the first day, this is the first day, brothers and sisters. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is the midst of the week, brothers and sisters. This is the midst of the week. And then you got to count 3 days and 3 nights. When does the new day start? According to scripture, it starts at the evening time at sunset, brothers and sisters. So really, the Messiah wouldn't have never even been keeping Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, nor the Sabbath, is because why? He would have already been destroyed, brothers and sisters, before the Pesach. So that stuff, a lot of that stuff that's in the Matthews is wrong, but it's put there for a reason. We're going to show you that. So let's start counting. Let's do it because It says 3 days and 3 nights, brothers and sisters. So what is the Messiah telling you? That you got 3 light periods, you got 3 dark periods, brothers and sisters. You got what? Let's start, because when does the new day start? It gotta start in the evening time around 6 o'clock, brothers, and when the sun sets. When the sun set, I don't care if it's still morning or still light out. Once the sun sets, it's the start of the new day. This is what the Christian church is not telling you. They can't tell you this. It's because they don't know nothing about nothing. So you got to do what? Passover evening, Passover night, all night Passover. Passover morning, Passover afternoon, all day Passover. The sun sets, brothers and sisters, around 6 o'clock. That's gonna complete one day. The evening and the morning is gonna complete one day, brothers and sisters. 3 evenings or 3 dark periods and 3 light periods, brothers and sisters. That's going to complete one day. Now it's going to be what? Feast of Unleavened Bread evening. Feast of Unleavened Bread night. All night Feast of Unleavened Bread. Feast of Unleavened Bread morning. Feast of Unleavened Bread afternoon. All day Feast of Unleavened Bread. So this is what? 3 dark periods, 3 light periods, brothers and sisters. 3 evenings and 3 mornings, or 3 days and 3 nights, brothers and sisters. But you got to start at the evening time. The sun sets again. It's going to start a new day. So this is day 2, brothers and sisters. Saturday, what they call the 7th day. 7th day evening, 7th day night. All night 7th day or Saturday. 7th day, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, all day Saturday. The sun goes down, brothers and sisters. When does the new day start? If Mary Magdalene would have came out to the sepulchre, brothers and sisters, they would have came out during Sunday evening, brothers and sisters. They're not coming out Sunday morning, brothers and sisters. That's not even in the Bible. You know why it's not there? It's because they didn't put it there on purpose. Because they was promoting, this is the Catholic Church. They were promoting Easter as what? The resurrection day, brothers and sisters. They're off. But let's say technically, if you're going to go back Good Friday, you got to start at the evening time, brothers and sisters. Friday evening, Friday night, all night Friday. Friday morning, Friday afternoon, all night Friday afternoon. Sun goes down, that's going to complete one day. Saturday evening, Saturday night, all night Saturday. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, all day Saturday. Sun goes down, that's going to be 2 days. So when you get over here, when they start talking about Sunday morning, brothers and sisters, that's off. It's because it didn't even complete the whole 3 days or 3 evenings and 3 mornings. It's not even completing it. It's not completing it. So you got a what? You got a 2 day and a half You got 2.5 days Jesus, brothers. It doesn't make any sense, brother, because you have to do everything by the evening. So let's say if you start from Sunday evening, you complete 3 dark periods, and then you get to the morning, right? Sunday morning, that's not the completion of 3 morning periods, brothers and sisters. It's wrong. It's wrong. So if it's wrong, brothers and sisters, then why are we still following this? We're still following it is because why? It's because it has been associated with Scripture. These folks, man, they can't even count, brothers and sisters. They can't even count. I'm talking about these Christians. They try to sit back and talk all this nonsense, brothers and sisters. They don't even know how to count. Easter is not the 14th day of the first month, brothers and sisters. Then another thing too, if this is Passover, then if that's the first day of the week, then when is the Feast of Unleavened Bread got to be Monday. Then the Sabbath got to be Tuesday. They just wrong on all fronts, brothers and sisters. They wrong. See, they're wrong. That's what I'm saying, brother. We gotta stop following these folks, man. And we have to learn how to put this, because this is our history. The so-called Negro was in the Roman period. We was being persecuted by the Romans. We was being persecuted by the so-called Christians, brothers and sisters. Why would we continue to listen to what they talking about? They have distorted the history. They told the black man that he was nothing. He came from a savage of a... Man, look, Charles Darwin said that black folks came from monkeys, y'all. Come on, y'all. Can't be sitting up here keep listening to them. 16th chapter of the book of Acts. Let's look at this. No, 20th chapter of the book of Acts. They got Paul celebrating Easter, y'all. Look at this. 6 and 7. Acts 20, 6 and 7. And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread. AKA what? Good Friday, brothers and sisters. That's Good Friday. And it says, and came unto them to Troas in 5 days, where we abode 7 days. And it says, upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, what are they celebrating? They celebrating what? Easter, brothers and sisters. So don't tell me Easter is not in the Bible, but it shouldn't be there. It's because why? That's not the Sabbath. That's not the Sabbath, brothers and sisters. Let's look at another scripture. 16th chapter of the book of 1 Corinthians. It's in here. See? It's in here. So this is the gospel of the kingdom, brothers, because you're going to have to do what? You're going to have to come against this garbage. This is garbage. See, Yahshua wasn't nailed to no cross. See, he would have been stoned to death. Let's look at this. Then you got the Messiah dying on what? On the Sabbath. He gonna die on the Sabbath and rise on the first day at the morning time? Come on. But our people continue to celebrate this garboonery. See, let's look at this. 16th chapter of the book of 1 Corinthians, 2nd verse. Upon the first day of the week. What is that? That's Sunday, brothers and sisters. That's the first day of the week. See? That's Easter. They got Paul celebrating Easter. Let's look at a commentary. Come on now. We got the books. Come on, y'all. This is the 1611 King James Bible. No, King James is not an Israelite. I don't care what you Negroes talk about. to find Easter forever. What are they talking about? The resurrection day, brothers and sisters. They done changed the Pesach. They done said Passover is Easter, brothers and sisters. First of all, from the vernal equinox up into Easter is 19 days, brothers. That's off. See? Look what they got in here. And they not just going to put this in here. They going to put it in the Bible. Sunday, right? They got Christmas. What is that? That's the virgin birth, y'all. They lying to you. See? Easter Day, Sunday after Easter. The Ascension Day, the Resurrection Day, right? They got the Trinity. All of that is garbage, y'all. That's garbage. Purification of the Virgin Mary, Saint Matthias, Annunciation of Our Lady. Wednesday, what's that? That's Ash Wednesday, brothers and sisters. See? What else they doing? They got Lent in the Bible. The Christians is still celebrating, they still worshiping Roman Catholicism, brothers and sisters. They talking about the first day of the week. That's Easter. Then you be talking to these Israelites, they said, no, man, that's Easter. What is you talking about? That's why Easter is in the Bible. It's because the Catholic Church put it in there. And this what shows you, even though the Christians and the Catholics were into it in history, it had nothing to do with religion. They still was following the same thing. It was about what? Power. See? Because the 10 toes had started to do what? Usurp themselves over Rome. But they still following it. See? Now, hold on. Where my joint at, man? Let me see something. I can find something real quick. I don't even think I got it in here. No, I ain't got it. Man, I wish I had it. King James tell you he looking at the Catholic Church as the mother church. See, technically, Pesach will be Thursday, brothers and sisters. Feast of Unleavened Bread will be Friday. The Sabbath will be on Saturday, brothers and sisters. Then you got to get 3 dark periods and 3 light periods. That's how you going to complete one day. They not even doing that. But we still following this. They got Paul acknowledging what you would call what? The resurrection. The resurrection of the dead was believed by patriarchs. See? They got Paul worshiping Yahshua as a God. That's why in the book of Revelation, let's turn to the book, 22nd chapter of the book of Revelation. Let me see if I can find this real quick. This is what's going to happen to a lot of us, man. Because, see, we still following paganism, y'all. That's what we doing. One second. 21st chapter. One second. Let me get this, man. See if I can find it. If I can't, I ain't gonna worry about it. Let me look at this. I think this is the 22nd chapter of the book of Revelation. For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yah shall add unto him plagues that are written in this book. And see, this is what's finna happen to the so-called white man, right? And a lot of you Negroes that still follow him. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Yah shall take away his part out of the book of life, a lot of you is not gonna be in the kingdom, man. It's because, see, you still worshiping your slave master. I'm talking about you so-called Negroes. You still worshiping the Babylonian mystery system, and you lying to the people and saying that you're not doing it. See? And see, you don't think that it's gonna happen to you is because you still able to go to work and get public aid and all this type of stuff. You working in the system, but it's gonna come a time, and it's happening now, where the system is in the uproar. See, and a lot of you gonna be caught up in the blaze in this stuff, man. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope you got something out of this lesson. I'm gonna mark it down, keep it, show it, and show and prove that these Christians don't know what they talking about. Sister Cherry, I don't care who it is. You can't listen to them because, for one, they're not even keeping the Passover. Two, if they was keeping the Passover, they're not even doing it 14 days after the first month. They're not killing no lamb. They're not doing none of that. They following the traditions of the Greco-Roman Empire. So with that being said, aka the Babylonian mystery system. Shalom.